Hey everyone and welcome. Now, as you all know, we can see it with our own eyes. Net zero and the zealotry that comes with it completely ignores the fact that it's destroying everyone's nation. And they're still pushing and pushing and pushing. Have you ever heard of the Climate Change Committee?
And I do believe that we have rotten politics, and I'm not using that as an exaggeration.
Well, this is Chris Stark. He ran the Climate Change Committee, and he's now head of our government's mission control for net zero. And here he is, saying that people need to be given the carrot or the stick. Have a listen to what he says.
We are, broadly speaking, agreed that we need to get on track towards a net zero, climate safe and nature positive future, but we know this will not be easy. And we're going to need to change behaviours of both individuals, but also the way that our industries and corporations and also our governments work and practice. We're going to need to do this through a mixture of carrots and hopefully perhaps not so many sticks, and some kind of mix. And there's a very active and live debate as to how we go about this.
A debate that none of us seem to be involved in. Just leave that there.
But we're likely to see an increasing move towards a more stick-like interventions into the future as things worsen if we're not able to act.
Right, let me just state this as a fact. This guy basically tells our government how to behave when it comes to net zero. So it's these zealots that are pushing our zealots to destroy the nation from within. How is it a democratic system if non-democratic organisations like the World Economic Forum and the Climate Change Committee can dictate to our supposed representatives? Absolutely disgusting, isn't it? Now, obviously, we know that net zero is a scam. It's basically a way to destroy us from the inside. These people obviously hate the countries, they hate the nation, and they want us all to be glorious Europeans that look the same, act the same, and think the same. Well, that's not going to happen. Here's some actual
and I think
facts when it comes to climate change. And this is a guy from Australia, but it is relevant everywhere. Have a listen to what he says.
Is climate change? I mean, I think the question that the young lady asked over here is very valid. Young people are highly intelligent, but I wonder whether they're being told, or which they're entitled to, all the facts in relation to this. When I asked, well, just about Alice, you've been speaking for most of the night.
She thinks she's got one over on him there. Oh my God, it's just an old man that doesn't know what he's talking about, because my professor said, I read it in a TikTok somewhere, that it is actually all right, and I'm morally superior. Now let's leave it to this old gentleman that's obviously a lot more wizened than this Fraggle. And this Fraggle, to be honest. Let's have a listen to how he destroys the pair of them.
When I asked Tanya Plibersek, was the Deputy Leader of the Labor Party and the potential Deputy Prime Minister, was carbon dioxide the big issue in relation to climate change? And she said yes. I then said, well, that being the case, what percentage of the atmosphere is made up of carbon dioxide? What is causing climate change? Is it carbon dioxide?
Yes, carbon dioxide pollution is a major contributor.
Okay, so can I ask you, this is not a trick question, what percentage of the Earth's air is carbon dioxide?
Oh, I don't know.
And I say, hang on, you don't know what percentage of the atmosphere is carbon dioxide, and yet you're prepared to stand the economy on its head to address a problem, the detail of which you don't know.
And catch this, he's going to catch her with the same question.
So when I then explained that the percentage of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, Alice, is how much? Alice, how much of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere?
To answer the question, Scott Morrison has said he believes in climate change and that he wants to do something about it.
Alice, how much carbon dioxide is the problem? How much carbon dioxide is there in the atmosphere?
I'm not a scientist. I don't know. I'm a...
Thus proving his point that these people are not taught the entire facts. They're just taught one side of the argument and believe that that is the only fact. Basically lies.
Well, hang on. If you're going to argue the case, you ought to know it's 0.04%. And of that 0.04%, human beings around the world create 3%. And of that 3%, Australia creates 1.3%. But if carbon dioxide is 0.04% of the atmosphere, And human beings are responsible for 3% of that 0.04%. And Australia's responsible for 1.3% of the 3% of the 0.04%. It's like saying there's a granule of sugar on the Harbour Bridge. Clean the bridge up, it's dirty. Surely if a political party doesn't know the quantum of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, what the hell are we standing the economy on its head for? Demonising coal-fired power, driving everyone into renewable energy, which is not available, not reliable and not affordable, plonking us in electric cars, giving us nearly the dearest electricity in the world when we're rich in energy resources, exporting coal so that China and India and Japan can have cheap electricity, and we sit here swallowing this ideological rubbish, putting industry at risk, jobs at risk, and burying the economy.
Boom, mic drop, isn't it? He has all the facts, and they don't even know. They're not a scientist. Well, that basically means that you've just been told what to say then, doesn't it? Maybe you should look into, I don't know, all sides of the argument. Now let's go back to the original, shall we? Because I think that was the most egregious. Carrot and stick. Now, if you didn't know, I'm sure you do, but if you didn't know, carrot and stick is just a nice way of saying we're going to manipulate you all, and if that doesn't work, we're going to force you all. F you, mate. You're not forcing me or manipulating me to do anything. This needs to be pushed back on, and it needs to be destroyed, because it's destroying us, isn't it? Let me know what you think. Stay sane. I'll see you on the next one.